Hey YouTube. So I'm a veteran Freemie user. I used them all with my last baby. I love them. They're amazing. And Freemie was awesome enough to send me a couple of new sets. Here's the box they come in. They sent me two, which is great. They have changed a little bit since the last time I got them, which is awesome. I'm going to show you what comes in the box. You're going to get, you get 2 cups. You're going to get 2 sets of 25mm flanges. You're going to get, or I'm sorry, 1 set of 2. And then you're also going to get a set of 28. So right now Freemie does not make anything smaller, but they said that they might be. You can also get a little adapter on Amazon that I've actually tried that would actually turn them into a 21, which is really kind of cool. So you get those, you get this little thingy, which is your valve, and these. When you put your Freemies together, boil your parts first. Very important. If you don't boil them, they're going to leak. And you're going to have to do it probably several times while you're using them, maybe like once a week, depending upon how long you use them. But anyway, there's a little notch up here, and that's where your tubing is going to go. So this is going to go on here, and it's going to line up with that tubing, like that kind of, where that hole is. So you put that in there and you push it. Then you're going to take your little rubber thing, and when you put it on, it needs to go to where it's parallel with this part right here. If you turn it this way, when you put the cup on it, it's going to actually hit it, and you're not going to get any suction. You might even get some milk in your tubing and stuff. So it's really important that this is flat, so that when you put the cup part on, it doesn't touch. Here's the cup. There's also a hole right there in the cup. You line that up with that. So you make a hole. So see, there's access, and your tubing goes straight in there. When you put these together, line that up, and you're going to hear a click. If you don't hear the click, don't use it. Go boil them again, because they're not going to be tight and it's going to leak. You should always hear that click when you go to put them together. In the box also, this is just the basic box. Basically, it's going to work with every Medela pump except for the Freestyle. They don't approve the Freestyle to work. I've used it before. I have a hack video if you want to give it a whirl. It doesn't hurt, but it is not endorsed by Freemie because they say it doesn't work. In this kit, in the basic kit, you're going to get some tubing. This is basically the same thing you would get from Medela tubing. So this basic kit will work for every Medela pump, like I said, except for the Freestyle, and the Hygeia pumps, which are basically the same as Medela anyway. You get 2 things of tubing. You're going to get these little things. I think you get 3 of them. Do not lose these. These are the greatest things ever. And Freemie, if you're paying attention, please sell these as a separate piece. I love these. These are your quick connects. So if you need to join 2 pieces of tubing, you put 1 piece on here, and then you stick your other piece in here. You can grab and go. It works great for the hacks that I do for the Spectra. I also use it to go back and forth between regular horns, like on my Medela Pisa, and using the Freemies. That way you don't have to pull the tubing off, because you don't want to do that, pull it off of the actual pump, because it's just going to keep stretching and you're going to lose suction. So these are invaluable. You get 3 of these. They also give you, and I can't find it right now, but they also, here it is. They give you an extra one of these. It's the little valve thing. Now I'm going to show you a little trick too. If for some reason, these, depending upon how you use it, you may want to replace these maybe once a month. If you're not using these very often, maybe not quite as much as that. If you get into a bind and you don't have these, you can take this. This is the Medela valve thing with the little thing on it. These are so much cheaper. These are $16 for 4, so $4 a piece. That's expensive, but I do like them better. They're easier to clean. You don't have to replace them as often. If you get into a bind and you need one, you can use one of these. They work exactly the same. You can, when you put it on, do the same thing. You want it to go with the white valve pointing straight down. That way when you put your shield back on, nothing touches anything. That's really, really, really important that nothing touches. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Yeah. So that works just fine. I've used it before. If you accidentally tear one of these, or you lose one, or you need to run to the store because you can't buy these in the store, but you can buy those, and it's invaluable. I mean, just keep some if you don't have any. Just keep them in your pump bag so that you have them when you need them. That's all that comes in the box. One thing I do want to say is, okay, you see this lady, how normal she looks, and even this lady looks really, really normal. Unless you're an A cup, you're not going to look normal. But it's not that big of a deal. Think kind of Madonna. You're going to tell that there's something there. Now, I've pumped in public before, and nobody's noticed. Most of the time, people just don't pay attention. If you run the tubing up underneath your shirt, you can't see anything. Infinity scarves work great. You can put one, just drape it over you, and it kind of hides the fact that they're sticking way out. They're still my preferred pump to use. I mean, you can keep the modesty. It's great. I mean, I use these. I'm exclusively pumped for all 3 of my kids, and I've had these with my last one, and I've had them now with my current newborn, and I love them. I mean, it makes it so much easier to pump. You can sit back, you can read a book, you can get up. If you use the Spectra, the S1, with these, you can pick your pump up and walk around. I mean, how awesome is that? These new ones are really kind of cool. I haven't tried these yet, because I wanted to do the video before I actually use them, but I've still been using my old ones, and they're pretty much exactly the same. I did notice, I don't know if you can see it or not, there is, you can kind of see it, there are lines right here that actually give you ounce counts, which they never used to have. There's also lines on the side that give you ounce counts, which they never used to have. So there used to not be a way to tell how much you had in one of these. They say their top is 8. You can get 8 ounces in one of these. I've gotten 10. It's kind of precarious. Don't bend over. Don't move real hard, but you kind of can. But most people really don't pump that much. The one complaint that I have noticed from some people is that they're saying that they do get a decrease in their ounces when using this instead of using the traditional horns. It's kind of a trade-off. I've always been an overproducer, so for me to lose a couple of ounces is really not that big of a deal. If it's going to be detrimental to you, it may be something that you want to think about, but it's still worth it to me. I mean, it's so much easier to pump in the car. You can pump in the house. You may tend to pump more, get more pumps in during the day because it's not such a big hassle. You're not sitting there with horns sticking out of you and not being able to do anything. You can cook dinner if you want to. You can read a book. You can play with your kids. You can hold the baby. I mean, you can even take one and just put one on and nurse the other side, and it really doesn't stick out all that much. But it works. They're awesome. I love these things. I used them, like I said, all the time with my last one. I've been using the same set with this baby and haven't had any issues. So, I mean, they're really durable. You just need to really take care of them. I do use a Wabi sterilizer or a sanitizer on mine every day with every pump. Freemie actually says they don't want you to do that. They do not recommend using a steam sterilizer for their pump parts. I can kind of see why. I personally haven't had any trouble with it, with parts warping or anything like that. But it's kind of do it at your own peril. They do recommend boiling, and like I said, I cannot emphasize this enough. Boil the parts before you use them, or they will leak. I promise they will leak. And if you don't boil them long enough, they will probably leak. You need to make sure you get a really tight seal. And Freemie's customer service is awesome. If you ever have any questions, they're always there to answer anything that you have. They're very knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. If you have any issues, I've got several hack videos on here, and as far as pouring the milk out of the Freemies, a lot of people, I have a video on that also, because apparently that was a big problem for a lot of people. If you have any questions, just leave something in the comments, and I'll try to answer as much as I can, the best I can. Y'all have a good day.